the spotlight of consciousness. Right now, you are paying attention to these words. But what is attention? It seems simple. You select something from the vast field of possible experience and focus on it. But when you examine attention closely, it becomes mysterious. What is doing the selecting? Where does attention come from? Is attention the same as consciousness, or is it different? Can you be conscious of something without attending to it? Attention shapes everything you experience. It determines what you notice, what you remember, what you respond to. It is the spotlight that illuminates your world, leaving the rest in shadow. Yet attention itself hides in plain sight, an assumed background to experience rather than something we examine. Welcome back to The Conscious Observer. In this season finale, we explore the nature of attention and its relationship to the conscious mind. The world bombards you with information. Photons strike your retinas, sound waves vibrate your eardrums, molecules contact your skin. Your brain cannot process all of it fully. Attention is the filter that selects what gets through. In the famous cocktail party effect, you can focus on one conversation in a noisy room while ignoring others. The ignored conversations are still heard at some level, but they do not reach full awareness. Change blindness experiments show that without attention, dramatic changes go unnoticed. A gorilla can walk through a scene, and observers fail to see it if their attention is elsewhere. Attention is not just preference, it is a gate that determines what reaches consciousness. Psychologists distinguish several types of attention. Selective attention is the focus on one stimulus while ignoring others. Divided attention is the attempt to process multiple stimuli simultaneously, usually with reduced performance. Sustained attention is the maintenance of focus over time, as when monitoring for rare events. Executive attention is the top-down control that directs attention according to goals. These different types involve different brain networks and serve different functions. Attention is not one thing, but a family of processes, each contributing to how we engage with the world. Understanding attention requires unpacking this family, seeing how the components interact. Are attention and consciousness the same thing? Many researchers believe they are closely linked. You seem to be conscious only of what you attend to. Unattended stimuli fade into background noise, processed but not experienced. The global workspace theory, which we explored earlier, identifies consciousness with information that enters a broadcast network and attention with what gets selected for broadcast. On this view, attention is the mechanism by which contents become conscious. But the relationship might be more complex. Some researchers report consciousness without attention and attention without consciousness. A sudden loud noise might reach consciousness before attention can be directed to it, or attention might be directed to stimuli that never reach full awareness. The relationship is intimate, but perhaps not identical. Neuroscientist Michael Graziano proposes the attention schema theory. The brain evolved attention to control the allocation of processing resources. To control attention effectively, the brain built a model of attention itself, a representation of what attention is and how it works. This attention schema is simplified, depicting attention as a mental spotlight controlled by an inner self. The sense of being a conscious subject who directs awareness is the brain's model of its own attentional processes. Consciousness, on this view, is a schematic representation of attention. This explains why consciousness feels the way it does. As a simplified model, it lacks the messy details of the underlying mechanisms. The self that seems to direct attention is part of the model, not something behind it. The concept of the observer has run through our entire series. In quantum mechanics, the observer collapses the wave function. In discussions of consciousness, the observer is the subject who experiences. But who or what is the observer? Attention might be the answer. The observer is not a thing but a process, the ongoing activity of attention selecting and integrating information. Without attention, there might be no observer. The observer is attention in action, constantly renewed, never static. This dissolves some puzzles about the self. There is no homunculus watching the screen of consciousness. There is just attention doing its work, and the sense of an observer is part of the model the brain constructs to represent this work. Contemplative traditions have long explored attention. Meditation often involves directing and sustaining attention, whether on the breath, a mantra, or awareness itself. Practitioners report that training attention transforms experience. As attention stabilizes, the usual chatter of the mind quiets. As attention sharpens, the texture of experience becomes more vivid. Some forms of meditation aim at open awareness, attention that includes everything without selecting anything, a panoramic presence rather than a focused spotlight. These states reveal the flexibility of attention, its capacity to widen or narrow, to lock on or let go. The exploration of attention from the inside complements the scientific study from the outside. Directing attention seems like a paradigm case of free will. You choose to focus here rather than there, on this thought rather than that. But neuroscience complicates this picture. Attention is influenced by bottom-up factors. Salient stimuli grab attention automatically, and the top-down control that directs attention is itself a brain process, subject to the same causal laws as any other. Is the sense that you direct attention an illusion, a post hoc rationalization of processes that unfold unconsciously? Or is attention the locus of genuine agency, the place where free will operates? The debate about free will finds one of its focal points here in the question of what controls the controls. We live in an age of unprecedented competition for attention. Screens demand it, notifications fracture it, algorithms optimize for it. Attention is now treated as a scarce resource to be captured and monetized. But what does this do to consciousness? If attention shapes experience, then fractured attention shapes fractured experience. A culture of distraction might be a culture of shallow awareness, always moving, never settling. Some have called for an attention ecology, a deliberate effort to protect and cultivate attention as we protect and cultivate natural resources. Understanding attention is not just scientifically interesting, it is personally and culturally urgent. What is attention? We have found no simple answer. Attention is selection, filtering, focus. It is linked to consciousness, perhaps constitutive of it. It is modeled by the brain as a spotlight directed by a self. It can be trained, stabilized, expanded. It is the process by which the observer observes. You are not just a passive receiver of experience, you are an active attender, shaping your world by where you direct your awareness. Throughout 45 episodes, we have explored consciousness, quantum mechanics, time, self, and reality. Attention has been the medium of our exploration, the invisible condition of all our seeing. Now attention turns to look at itself, and in that reflexive moment, something profound is revealed. You are the conscious observer, and observation is attention, and attention is what you have been doing all along. Thank you for your attention across this journey. Whatever attention is, you have given me yours, and that is a gift. Reality is vast, strange, and beautiful. Direct your attention well. Keep observing.